This is Eric Miskell with EMS Now. I am still here at INDIC EMS. It's evening time now, though, so
Yes.
but wanted to talk a little bit about the supply chain. So, Pradeepa, you're the Vice President of Sourcing and Supply Chain here
Yes.
within INDIC EMS.
Yes.
Thank you for taking some time with me today.
Okay.
So tell me, though, supply chain, people say that the core competence, the most important core competence these days now for EMS is supply chain management.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me about the supply chain, how it's evolving in India, and even the localization trend within that.
That's a good question. So the supply chain, especially in the EMS, the current ecosystem is much better than the previous, what I have seen the decades together back. Earlier, my supply chain has depended, even though we have been a low-cost country and we have been catering to overseas customers,
Yeah.
but more dependent on the imports.
Yeah.
So we have been importing from the different part of the countries. But last few years, almost a decade, from last 1 decade, so we have been localizing, we have been indigenous, and Indian ecosystem will be supporting to address the global customers, US or Europe or whoever, any part of this world, we have been supporting. Earlier 100% dependency was there, so now we have been dependency is quite reducing. So especially for the PCBs and the electromechanicals, mechanicals, and the plastic machinery items, and few passives also, we will be reducing the dependency of importing.
Yeah.
So now the Indian ecosystem is supporting to a supply chain to address it
Yeah.
for the global customers.
Okay. Let me ask you on a few of those points. There's PCBs is a core one, right?
Yes.
I know that that industry is growing here. I've heard stories over the last 2 weeks of companies who are looking to develop, are starting to grow their own now as well. Their EMS companies are going to do it for internal and external. So those sources are growing up, but the majority is still being imported from outside.
Yeah. See, the government interest was to adding the anti-dumping duties, to prefer to give a localizations and indigenous, and boost up our PLI benefits to our Indian domestic customers. So if I'm importing and if I'm exporting, my customers are overseas, still I can import without duties. Anti-dumping duty will not impact to us. But if I'm using this for my domestic market, still few suppliers are 100% ADD exemptions are there. Still few lesser than 10%, 5%, 15%, 20%. Different suppliers are having a different buckets. At the same time, so comparatively earlier days, today our Indian PCB manufacturer also increasing their infrastructures, enhancing their technical skills, enhancing their production capabilities to address, for example, we have been doing for the lot of offset program for the defense and aerospace. We have a lot of AS approved PCB manufacturers.
Okay.
So all this ecosystem now is supporting to be catering the overseas customer as well as domestic customer PCB. So still dependency is there PCB, but comparatively, so still, for example, if I'm importing the PCB from the Hong Kong, if I'm getting from the Vietnam, still I have the trade free.
Yeah.
So if I'm getting the Malaysia, I can get a trade free.
Okay.
So only if certain locations, if I'm importing, I have these challenges. But we can, and certain case, for example, if I'm using this PCB for the end application of medical, there is a duty, anti-dumping duty exemptions also there.
Yeah. And the other important one, obviously, is the semicon side, right? The semiconductor side. And it looks like there's movement and announcements of that starting to evolve here. I think Tata has started doing their own as well, and more will undoubtedly follow.
Yes, I have seen this, a lot of people are coming for the chip makers and they are developing this fab and all. But so far still those parts or chip makes is not available in the market to be used. It may take some quite time sometimes. It's not simple, it may take some another couple of years to be getting 100%.
Yeah.
But comparatively, this is a good move, whatever the last few years it's happening. So definitely, I think a couple of years, we maybe have to reducing the dependency and we can use our own chip, our indigenous parts in this.
I will say something that surprised me when I came here from a supply chain perspective was I was surprised to find out that the large global distributors, authorized distributors, don't have warehouses within India.
Yeah.
And so that adds time, right? For you have your lead time, then you have to add another, 2 weeks or whatever to factor in before you can get product here. So.
Yeah, this challenges is there, but now recently the global customer supplier distributors like Arrow, Amnet, they are also started their warehouse here. At the same time, the tier 2 vendor like called as authorized distributors also In India, they have the good market shares. I've been working with a lot of Indian distribution company.
Okay.
They are also equally participating for the Indian market. So they will be supporting, if they wanted in INR, they can support it. The few like few passives getting manufacturing in India, capacitor resistors, will be getting in INR prices, in rupees. No need not to be do the transaction with the forex of any other currencies. We have been buying with them. And few distributor, global distributor also, not all, but few all already started. They have their own warehouse here, bonded warehouse. They will be supporting you.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes, they are already having support. We are buying as well.
Okay, very good. So with all of these developments and the growth and the improvements that are expected, what do you think is still needed for supply chain in India?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is just started actually. So far we are very good in the mechanical infrastructure wise. We have a capability, skill set to do the mechanical development and the plastics, machining and all. So coming back to the semicon and the passives, electromechanical also India is very competitive and a lot of suppliers are there. So equally we are competing and all. But only thing is still semicon and the passives are challenges. But the good movement is like Tata and few other manufacturers, Vedant and all, they started with these chip manufacturers and all. It's a good move, but it takes some time. So maybe another 1 or 2 years. So we have to just wait and watch, and we'll see. I hope the dependency is still there, but definitely will be reducing over the period.
Yeah, and the localization trend will continue.
Absolutely, because that's our government is encouraging for this PLI localization and supporting all this, definitely boosting up our local manufacturing. So definitely it's happening. It's great.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, excellent. Well, I appreciate your insights here tonight, and good luck, because it's an ever-changing environment, isn't it? There's never a dull day.
No, it's as I said in the beginning, this supply chain is a different ball game altogether. Both my customer and my vendors are both are very big in terms of their revenue, and their expectations is different. So as I told, this supply chain is it's the heart of the company, it's a key vital role.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this will be helping out how you are strategize. See, if you don't react, if you don't act, this is going to become a stress. If you are strategically, if you are moved with your supply chain, if you are planned very well, this supply chain will go very smoothly and seamless supply, we can see it out. So that's what we have adopted from a lot of overseas customers, how their supply chain maturity is so important, and how you are maintaining the relationship with your vendors. So vendor relationship is so equally important to be in a good supply chain in this market.
Excellent.
That's great.
Well, I appreciate the insights.
It's a great opportunity. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Okay,
No,
nice
thanks
meeting
for
you.
sharing.
Sure.
Very good.